All right, y'all, what's going on, man? It's your boy JevonAmir back with another video, and I ain't gonna lie, I've been going for a long time, but that's only because I had a whole bunch of other stuff doing. As y'all can see, I moved into a new apartment, so that's another thing I was working on doing. That's why I wasn't streaming yet. As y'all can see, I don't have no furniture back here yet. I don't have nothing in here but just that chair. That's the only thing that's in here. Of course, I got my bed and my other stuff in my other room, but I just had a lot going on, so that's a whole nother video. But for today's video, I'm gonna be showing y'all how I passed my funded account with no losses. I had a 100% win rate through the whole thing. I will not be editing this video, so y'all can see that I'm telling the truth. There's not no edits or nothing like that around the video. So if I mess up on a word or something like that, so be it. But let's get into it. Um, so I trade on TradingView. This is what I trade on every day. I wake up at 4 a.m. to trade London session. I found that London session for my strategy is the mean reversion. So personally, I think that's the best for me for my strategy is 4 a.m. because you have the London session. It's good volatility. You can't go wrong with it. You can't go wrong with it. So the London, I didn't try to trade in London, Asian. I mean not Asian, my fault. Asia and New York. New York is good, but it's not better than London when it comes to the mean reversion. So London, that's what I trade. Y'all probably looking at here, like why do I have all these indicators on here? I only use some of these indicators. A lot of these indicators have been on here since when I was like first trading in the very beginning. So a lot of them are on here, but I don't really use a lot of them. I only use a couple of them. And I'm gonna go over that for another video. But the main thing is that you want to pay attention to these higher lows, these higher highs, these lower lows and lower highs. Those are what I use to trade. So I'll wait for you feel me? I'll wait for one of these, the lower high, either the lower low or something like that to go off. But I also have alerts set on. I'll show y'all how to do that in another video. I'll show y'all how to set up alerts. And when I have my alerts going, so let's say I go to sleep, I wake up at 4 a.m. Boom. I get a notification on my phone around that time. Usually around that time, it'll be either a higher high made, a lower low made, a lower high made, or a higher low made. So then once one of those are made, I'll open up the chart. I get on my phone. I'll be like, okay, bet I got one of these made. Let me go ahead and look at the chart real quick. Let me see what it's doing. So boom, I'll come to the chart and then I'll be like, okay, I see, let's take for example that like right here today, it made a high. Okay, so I see I have a high right here. I'm gonna go ahead and drop down to the 5 minute candle. Boom. I'm gonna see that there's a higher high right here. So this right here is a trade that I would never take. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all why though. Because you always want confirmation. So with that being said, when you want confirmation, you got to know how to look for confirmation and have how to know when sellers are stepping in and when there's a rejection candle. So boom, right? We'll have the higher high right here, which is my candle right here. You have the next candle. You see this candle right here push down, and then you see what happened. So then we're going to wait. What we want, right? What we want is for this candle right here, which didn't happen. We want this candle to close below this candle's wick. This candle's low wick. Let me change that because there was a higher high. So you want it to close below this candle's lower wick. So we will want to close right in here. And then once we have a close right here, we will want to push down, okay? So let me take, for example, let me go find one. Let me go to a higher low right here. Okay, so yeah, right here, this higher low, for example. Boom. So this higher low right here, right? This higher low, which is this candle. This next candle didn't push up. It didn't break above this candle's high right here. This candle's wick high. This candle didn't either. But right here, once we have that break in that candle's wick, once we have that wick high right there, we know that buyers are stepping in. That's when we know what buyers are stepping in. And then we want to target. So right here, this candle, I will wait for this break right here. So boom, you have two things you can go about it. You can wait for this candle, which is the smartest thing to do. It'll fix your risk to reward. Or you can trade on this candle right here off that break, but your risk to reward might be worse because it might push down. It could always have a chance of it coming down and then stopping you out and then going back up, or it could always go all the way down and not come back up. You know, like it's not guaranteed that it is. It's just a strategy that I use. Okay, so once that happens right here, right? So let's just say I'm not signed in right now, but I normally target either the mean reverse, the VWAP. That's normally what I target, which is this blue line right here, because that's where price is always going to try and retrace to. Price is always going to try and retrace back to that line. but sometimes it doesn't. It's not guaranteed, but price will always more than likely throughout the day try and retrace back to that line. So that's what you want to target. So if I was in right here, I would want to target this VWAP right here. Normally I might go, I don't normally hit it like directly on the line. I normally sometimes might come down a little bit low below the line because I can't tell you, I cannot stress how many times I have targeted the VWAP and then it'll literally be like 3 points away from it, and then it goes down, and then it didn't hit my TP. So now I'm like, bro, like, are we serious? You feel me? So like, you don't want that to happen. But I mean, it's just a preference, honestly. I didn't had it to me numerous of times, so I fixed that immediately. So I don't normally target all the way at the very blue line. I'll go like a little bit, a couple points under it. So I found out that that saves me a lot now. I might lose like $30, $40 from that, but on trading NQ, I mean, what's $30 to $40 if you're making, for my fixed TP is 400 or I'm targeting the VWAP. So what that means is I'm either going to have my take profit set at maximum $400, or I'm going to target the VWAP, which is going to be like 1,000 and something with me using one contract on NQ. So that's that. So then, okay, so once you're targeting here, you're good. You go ahead and let it run. Now your stop loss, okay? Your stop loss, that matters. So let's say if I'm right here, let's say I get in right here. I take this trade right here, okay? Your stop loss you have two things. You can either have your fixed stop loss, which is your price that you don't want to lose no more than, which is mine is 200 to 275. I roughly rotate, but most of the time I found that 275 for my strategy is better than me having 200. It gives me that $75 more of a buffer. So I found that 275 is really better for me. So I have a 275 fixed stop loss and a 400 take profit. Sometimes 200 stop loss. It just depends on, just varies on the trade that I'm taking, honestly, and which one is more of a better setup. So right here, let's say we get in right here. So with a stop loss of 275, it would probably be somewhere. I can't pull up the hold on, actually let me see if I can real quick. So let me go right here, and then boom, right here. So now it just gives me the ratio. I know I normally have a stop loss of like, I want to say 13, I think it is. I think it's 13. And then I have a take profit of, I believe it's 22, I believe. Don't quote me on this. I'm not sure, but I'm not completely positive. I think my stop loss is more than that. I think it's more than 13. I think it is 13 though, because I would have to double check that. I'll double check that and then let y'all know later on in the video. But so basically, I would come here, I would enter the trade. That would be my stop loss, and that would be my take profit, right? So that's one choice. Or your other choice is you would have your stop loss, you would have your TP up there, right? You have your TP always targeting the VWAP, the blue line. You can do this right here. You can boom, and then go to the higher low right here. This is where you can have your stop loss at the higher low, and then you would target the VWAP. You feel me? That's the best way to do it. It's not want to say that's the best way to do it, but it fixes your what's the word I'm trying to look for? It doesn't fix your take profit. It doesn't fix your risk to reward. It honestly makes your risk to reward worse, but your odds are better though, because it has to go down and create a lower low for you to get stopped out. So you see what I'm saying? So it doesn't fix your risk to reward, but it can be better. It can be. So what I personally do is I wait for it. So this candle right here, this is why I said I wait. So I will wait until this candle right here. Normally I would catch this pullback right here. I would wait until it's about not halfway through, but it's a little bit halfway through. So I'm not gonna say that I would have caught it all the way right there, but normally I would catch right there. I would catch like right there, coming down into the pullback, or right around right there, and then I would target the VWAP. Or if I'm not targeting the VWAP, I'm targeting my fixed profit of 400, which will be, I think it's 22 points, so it would be like right here. But my stop loss isn't all the way down there. Remember, I'm losing a fix of 275. So that's that. So that's what my strategy would be. But this right here, though, I was just showing you the strategy. That right there, you wouldn't use that because This is a higher low on the 5 minute time frame. Okay. So you want the higher low or the higher high or the lower low or the lower high to be made on the higher time frame. I repeat, you want one of those to be made on the higher time frame. You don't want to go off the 5 minute. Do not go off the 5 minute. The 5 minute don't matter. That's not what you're looking at. You're only looking at the 5 minute for confirmation and to enter your trade. The 1 hour time frame is that's what you're using to see the trade. That's once you have these higher lows right here, this higher low, these lower low, lower high, these higher highs, and then the lower low. Those are what you want on the 1 hour time frame, and then you're going to drop down to the 5 minute time frame, and then that's where you're going to enter your trade off of there. So that's going to make it better for you. That's going to make the trade a lot better. That's how I passed that funded account with 0 losses. I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all the account right here. This is I am using Take Profit Trader. That is what I use. That's what I've always used. You can see I passed it in 15 days. Honestly, I could have passed it shorter, but I'm gonna tell y'all right now, when it comes to these funded accounts, you have a lot of people that think that you should, what's the word? They think that you should just pass them instantly. That's not the case. You can pass funded accounts in 2 to 3 days, but it's like, why do that when you can take your time and you see 15 days, boom. 15 days is nothing. That's not that long. You feel me? Especially with a good win percentage, that's not that long. Okay, so let's go down here. This is my daily journal. This is what it was. Like I told y'all, I only take 1 trade a day. As y'all can see, you have some days that's like 4 and 5. The only reason that's like that is because on Take Profit Trader, when you're using Take Profit Trader, they count your even if it's not filled, like if your order's not filled, like if it didn't hit, as long as you put that stop limit there, as long as you put that limit there, it counts as a taken trade. So that's why it says some of them are like 4, 5, like that. But I only actually took 1 trade that was filled. So that's with that being said. The next page is this page right here. Y'all are gonna see that I lost $39. I do have a trade sinker. And that's the only reason why I lost that is because I was testing it out and I wasn't really caring if I was losing money. I was just trying to make sure the trade sinker was working because I do have 5 accounts that I'm trading through. So I just wanted to make sure that I was working. So it is what it is on that day. I don't really count that day because, like I said, I was trying something out with my trade sinker and I just so happened to lose $39. Whoop-de-doo. I mean, it's whatever. I don't really count that day because I didn't actually trade. Like actually trade. So I don't really count that day. But as you can see, I do have some days like where I have $10. That's another thing. You got to know when to stop. Whenever you have like some days that are not that good. You might have some days that are really good. You might have some days where it's really bad with the market. You just got to know how to stop. This day right here where I only had $10 made, I think the market was chopping that day when I was entering my trade. It kept on going up and down, and it's chopping side to side. So I was like, you know what, I'm done. I got into profit and I took my profit and I left. And you know what's crazy? When I left that trade, it literally went all the way down. So I literally would have lost. It would have hit my stop loss that day too. That's the crazy part. So you got to know when, like once you study the market long enough, you got to know when to just leave and just let it be. I mean, it happens. So this day right here, I won $659. This is what I was telling y'all with my strategy. When you're targeting the VWAP, you can target the VWAP or you can target your fixed profit of whatever your fixed profit is. But me personally, I'll have it at 400. That'll be my take profit. And then I'll move it up. So I will move my take profit up to the VWAP line and I'll bring my stop loss up to break even at 400. If y'all get what I'm saying. So that's what happened that day. I brought my stop loss up to break even at 400, so that way I'm leaving out with 400 regardless, and I ended up making 659 that day. That's the same case with a couple more of these days, like with 450. It came up and I took out at 450. Boom. But honestly, you just gotta have a system that works for you. Only take 1 trade a day. Learn the market. First, start paper trading. Paper trade. Learn it, and then once you learn it, you get a strategy that you're working, or you can use my strategy that I use. I use mean reversion, and then I target VWAP. You're good from there. Some days I might have some days where I make $93 or $100. If you take the average between all my prices on this account, I was making the average of $188. That's how much I was averaging on this account a day, $188 a day, which is honestly That's pretty good across 5 accounts. You gotta think $200 times five. That's $1,000. That's $1,000 a day, just from 5 accounts. That's it. That's not even including your personal account if you have a personal account, or if you can only have five. You can only have 5 accounts with Take Profit Trader. But if you're going to somewhere like My Funded Next or My Funded Futures, or I think, yeah, one of those, you can have like 10 accounts or 5 accounts on there also. So you got to think, you can scale your profit. The goal is to scale your profits with funded accounts, not to scale. No, no, no. Your goal is to scale money with funded accounts. Okay, that's what you want to do. You want to scale your money by having multiple funded accounts, not increasing your take profit size. So if your take profit is like 500, right, or 600, whatever your take profit is, you don't want to increase that number when you get more accounts. You want to keep that same price as you get more accounts, so you can all have like all your accounts that you're having 600, 600, 600, 600 times 5 across all those accounts. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to scale your payout, you want to scale your accounts. That's how you're going to make a lot of money in trading, by having multiple funded accounts. And make sure you're not breaking none of those rules, following those rules, and you're good from there. You're going to be good. I promise you, you're going to be good. But it's not easy. It's not easy. But once you learn it and once you get the market down, you know your strategy, you know what you're doing, you're good. And I will be going into depth of about the indicators and also my strategy that I'm using to, help y'all a little bit more on other videos that's coming out soon. And I appreciate y'all for staying this long. And hey man, make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button. I got more videos coming out soon about trading, and make sure y'all stay tuned.